Hi, I'm Mark Anthony,
And I'm Peter Hannett.
and welcome to Futureworx 2022. Good afternoon and welcome back to Futureworx 2022 live. With me, your host, Mark Anthony. I've been joined by a very special guest now. I've got Jan here from Propeller. Jan, first question, obvious one. What is Propeller?
Propeller is a software company that helps earth-moving sites manage their volumes and their progress tracking.
And a lot of that is based upon, as the name suggests, Propeller, drones.
Drone surveys is the current data capture that we use. It's come a long way. It's really easy to use by now. You need your pilot license, of course, but after that, it's just a couple tabs on the screen. Hit start, and off is your drone. That has become very easy with the current state of the art. You need good ground control if you're going to create 3D maps out of your drone survey. And so we also made the ground control, visual markers on the ground, made that really easy to use with a thing called an arrow point. It's a self-surveying ground control point with a single button to operate it. And out comes, after you use that, out comes your model with 3 centimeters accuracy. Easy for anyone to do.
So, for my understanding, do you come along and do the drone surveys, or do you teach the clients how to do the drone surveys and then suck in that data from them?
Yeah, great question. No, we actually help the customers do it themselves. It's by far the cheapest way to get it done. And as I said, it's easy to use. When you have your pilot license in place, you're good to go, and you can track on a monthly, on a weekly basis. Have your flight done, your ground control done. Upload. We do the quality control for the customer, and so the next day you'll be looking at a quality assured 3 centimeters accurate data set that you can compare to the last survey, or you can compare it to your design, and you can see what cut and fill did you do, what's left to be done in the coming days.
Now, in terms of data, I mean, we're at Futureworx, and one of the things that's occurred to me with all of this, there seems to be lots of systems out there, all slightly different and that kind of thing. How do you take your data and make that apply to all these other systems that are out there? Because I would guess that some clients will be running one or more different platforms for themselves.
For sure. Well, for the site surveying and the drone data capture, a lot of survey crews right now try to do that themselves, try to do that in-house. That's a time-consuming thing, and it's not a great value add, to be honest. So outsourcing that makes a lot of sense. If you have your site surveying done in Propeller, you can then download your terrain models and all of your measurements and take it to another environment, right? So what we solve is the site survey piece with the progress tracking, and you can use it for billing, estimating, and all that good stuff. You can easily share it inside your organization and have others look at that survey data, not only the survey crew. And then if you need to do other tasks with it, you simply export it, download it, or use our automated exports, and you can take it into CAD software. You can use it for your planning, and then there are other softwares that will bring it into the machines for execution.
I think this is also going to inform a lot of BIM and that kind of thing as well. You know, when you get to the end of a project, you'll be able to see literally down to the last centimeter exactly what's happened, won't you?
Yeah, it's really good for documentation. And what we focus on and what the drones are really good at is this horizontal piece of the construction phase, right? So when it goes vertical, other tools, laser-based tools, are typically preferred for doing that next phase. But in the earth-moving phase, the drones and the photogrammetry are really good and accurate and cost-effective way to go. And yeah, it gets documented. So, but as that's coming along, you have all of that done while you're executing the earthworks.
Fantastic. Now the light's just gone out, but it doesn't matter because we're on a different channel. Just want to see. We've had a comment here. We've got somebody watching from France. It's not actually a question, so I'm going to go back to the other part. Now, obviously, we need to do something with all that data, and you have one of your colleagues is here that is going to explain exactly what happens with that data afterwards. So let me roll a video, and then I'm going to switch guests very, very smoothly. You'll not see the join, I hope. I just need to find the right one, and it is that one. And as if by magic, we have a new guest. Carl is from Sitech Trimble Sitech? Sitech UK. So we've just heard about the capturing of data from drones and that kind of thing, but you guys then have to do something with that. Explain Sitech, explain Trimble, and explain what it is that you do for a client.
So at the moment, we're at the stand, we're demonstrating the full connected site technology. So we're taking that drone data, we are overlaying it with our model. We'll upload the models remotely via Futureworx Manager. That'll go onto the machine. From there, we can see the machines are running the correct designs. We can see live information back from the machine, what the operator is looking at. We can support that product remotely. So once the design is down on the machine, the operators can continue. As that machine is operating, whether it's a dozer, grader, excavator, any particular type of machine, we're collecting live data that's going back up to the Works Manager program and down to Works OS. Works OS is showing us productivity of the whole job site, where we are, what we've got left to do. We can take daily flights from Stratus. We can bring that down every day, updating our cut and fill models. And there's a whole life cycle that goes back down to the machine. Everything the machine records goes back up and back down. So it's a continuous flow of data. So it's enabling you to plan your projects better. Do you know whether you're on track or not? And that's what we're trying to show today.
Obviously, we are talking on the very eve of the end of red diesel. And obviously, we're all looking at fuel costs and that kind of thing. There is a part of the technology there that you're minimizing fuel consumption as well, aren't you? By advanced planning and making sure you only cut exactly what it is that you need to cut.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, making sure you're only passing that final pass once. You're not over digging. You're not, we're keeping it to design, and that's going to reduce fuel costs.
One of the things that strikes me about this, and I've been looking around Futureworx over the past 12 hours or 24 hours or whatever it might be, is we seem to be in the midst of an explosion of technology. At the same time, we have some very traditional people in the industry. How are customers, and I'm talking even down to plant operators, how are they responding to the advent of this technology explosion?
So it's been adopted very, very well at the moment. We've taken a gradual build up to this, but now people know what it is. They want to be involved. They can see the benefits of using it. So the adoption rate is going through the roof now. People now, they're looking for the right projects to use this equipment on. So this is just going to keep going and going. Now people know what it is. They know, and they want to know what's next. We now get feedback. This is what we'd like to see. This is what we'd like it to do more. And we're listening to this and we're growing the products.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's really struck me about this technology, and even the fact that we now have a dedicated exhibition that's purely for technology, there is a pull from the market. Obviously, there's a big National Highways presence here. I've seen some of the guys from Balfour Beatty, from Skanska. You know, I think the moment that the market starts to pull, that's where really the demand is really going to kick on, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, these projects, the halo effect of these projects is going to be phenomenal. People now want to know exactly what's happening from minute to minute to hour on these projects, and this is just going to pull more and more people in from outside of those projects. You know, that they'll take the technology they've used on these projects and they'll realize we can use that on other projects outside of it. So after the likes of HS2, it's going to be on everything.
It's interesting you mentioned HS2 because obviously it's a mammoth project over 20 odd years and however many billions we're at the moment. Obviously that has the ability to pull in and utilize that technology. How far down the food chain does this sort of technology go? You know, will we have literally, you know, fairly small 6 week, 6 month projects that are using this kind of data at some point?
Absolutely. I mean, we have customers that are on projects 2 or 3 days using this technology. Because they have it, it means they can literally rock up on site, turn the technology on, get the job done, back on the low loader and out. You know, traditionally you'd be waiting for an engineer, you'd be waiting to come out and check the levels before he goes. We're talking small projects as well.
And it's unequivocal as well, isn't it? You know, when you're actually reporting back to a client, you can say, not only have we done the job, here's the proof that we've done the job, and here's the tolerances that we've hit. You know, that as your colleague said, you know, down to millimeter accuracy. You know, you've got a complete package there, haven't you?
Absolutely, and that is a key thing for a lot of people. We've done the work. Here's the proof. You know, and it's been used a lot for that. You know, this is it's gonna speed up the whole process from actually hitting the ground to being paid.
Well, I've mentioned plant operators because we do have quite a few plant operators watching these shows. One of the things that there seems to be a divide in the camp as far as driver aids are concerned. So, you know, dig controls and that kind of thing. There seems to be either they're completely pro or they're completely anti. What is the feedback you're getting from sort of the operator level on this kind of technology?
So, you know, we don't get, you know, a lot of operators, they maybe the older generations are a bit wary of this, because they don't use their iPads and all that sort of stuff. But we find that the way the Trimble product is developed, it's so easy to take control of and to understand. When they realize they don't have to continuously watch this in there, it's sat in the machine. They don't have to watch it. They do their job normally. It's just an aid to make sure they get their final pass right.
You just mentioned generations. That's one of the things that the industry has been talking for years about, this fact that, you know, a modern excavator is not dissimilar to operating an Xbox. It's, you know, it's buttons on its levers and that kind of thing. The technology you've got kind of encourages the next generation, doesn't it? You know, people that are iPad savvy could come straight into the industry, not just jump on a machine and go, but, you know, they've already halfway there, aren't they?
Absolutely. I mean, we find that the older generation, that they'll use equipment to get the job done. The younger generations, within weeks, they're coming back saying, "Oh, I found this feature. I've done this feature. I'll use this and I use that." And you're just like, this is they got it. They've got this game in. They touch the touch screen, that everything, they just really engages them, and they want to learn more. And this is what we need to be showing more of the younger generations, bringing them into construction. This is no longer just pulling levers. There's technology. There's all sorts of things on this show the next couple of days, and the young generation need to see this. Construction is no longer dirty boots, and, you know, technology's there to.
That's one of the things that I always try to get across whenever I'm talking at schools and colleges and that kind of thing, is the fact that, you know, there's huge numbers, hundreds and hundreds of people that work within construction and demolition that never put on a pair of site boots or a hard hat. You know, and I mean, some of the data that you guys are generating, you know, you've got to analyze that, and you're probably doing that from a nice plush air-conditioned office with coffee on tap.
Absolutely.
You know, that's the bit of construction that people don't see, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean, at the show today, you'll see that we're controlling the data from a live construction site 100 miles away from here. We're not even there, but we're there. We've got the designs. We've got the Trimble Business Center design package, and we've not touched the site. You know, but people need to realize that there are other. It's not just about operating machines. There's a whole digital environment now within construction. People really need to get involved with that.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's a great note to end on. Thanks so very much, Carl, for being here. Thanks a lot, Jan, who's over behind the camera there. We'll be back here again. What is the next show? We'll be at 1 o'clock. So check back then. I think we've got JCB coming in at 1 o'clock. But until then, have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you very soon.